This is a 1995 sl320 Mercedes. It's a straight six. Um, I was changing the spark plugs the other day, and I had to stop because I noticed I had oil on my threads there that you see there. I wiped them off, but you can see how dirty they are. They should be clean. I was kind of worried because when you see that, especially the first one I took out, it had a lot of oil on the very tip of it, which was telling me, well, I panicked really, and I thought, oh man, the O-rings or valves are damaged, so I need to overhaul the darn thing. But as I thought about it, I realized it has never blown smoke to the rear or backfired. So I started thinking about maybe there's something else involved. Well, what the car has is what they call uh, tube seals. I had to buy a valve cover gasket assembly, which will come with these rubber, as you see the rubber rings there with a gasket, of course. I tried to buy them separately, and I couldn't. But when you buy it as a kit, it'll come out. You need a gasket anyway, so it's worthwhile just buying the whole kit. Not very expensive. At any rate, I'll show you the car that I have, and maybe those that have one like it know what it looks like. Here's the inside of my car. I changed the seats there as well. Maybe I'll get to that later and I explain to that how I replace those. I have the hood almost straight up, and did you see on the side there it is. They have a clip. You see that clip there? Right here. If you pull that out, it'll move out this pin right here that you see. It'll disengage it. And the same thing with the other side. If you pull them out, it'll allow you to put your hood all the way straight up. It'll allow you, of course, to work on it and let more light in. It's just information that, in case you may not know. I mean, I didn't know at first. So I've done little things on this car. I like to tinker with it, and I can't see spending all that kind of money on these cars. You know, it's something that as a hobby, I like to kind of tinker. I do have some schooling as far as auto mechanics, but I'm not a mechanic by no stretch of the imagination. But I do have a lot of common sense, which helps me to do things. Through the years that I had this car, the things that I've done, I looked at YouTube, and there's never seemed to be an article on what I'm looking for. I mean, all the other cars except this one. But at any rate, what I decided to do is whatever I do to the car, I'm going to start recording it and maybe place it on YouTube. For the only reason is other people, they have the same problems, and I can help them as well. You know, it's kind of ridiculous that YouTube doesn't have anything on this particular car. I find that amazing. But at any rate, I'm going to start doing that. I should have done that from the get-go. I just never dawned on me. The valves are underneath here. Not the valves, but the spark plug. So this is like a spark plug cover. You got to remove these screws, and you'll find this is a 6-cylinder, so you're going to find 6 of them. As I go along, I'm going to stop and record as I go along and just update you what I'm doing. A lot of the names here, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, and so if, like I said, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to inform me the name of it, and you know, try to correct me, but that's fine. I'm here just to show those who have a car similar to this, so they can fix theirs as well. Once I do that, I got to change the spark plugs anyway. I got to remove the valve cover here. And as you see, there's the screws on the side that you have to remove. They're all the way around the side. I think this is a breather. That's what it's called. I'm not sure. But again, you know, if you want to tell me what it is, that's fine. It won't bother me. I won't get offended. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic by any sense of the word, but I do have common sense that allows me to do what I do. And I do it as a hobby. And, you know, it's kind of fun. In order to take this off, you have to unscrew this screw back here, which has a clamp on it, and it will let you lift that off. And then there are 2 nuts there to hold it down. And it'll be wise that you On the other side is to remove, loosen this up and take this off so it'll be easier to take off and put back on. As I mentioned before, the reason that I found this out, I was just changing my spark plugs, and the threads here, okay, should be clean. The first one I took out was clean the way it's supposed to be, and the tip as well should be clean. As you see, that's not too bad. But when I took it off, it was dripping. All that was dripping with oil, and the top of here was full of oil. And it kind of scared me because that's the first sign of ring problems, or the valves aren't closing. It's shooting, so it's not burning the mixture. So it kind of got worried because then I thought I'd have to rebuild the motor. It has 178,000 miles, and on these type of cars, the Mercedes-Benz have great engines. I know I can drive this car for probably, I don't know, it's got 178, maybe 3 up to 500,000 miles. They're good engines, but as long as you got to keep up changing the oils and stuff. I never put, not to say anything bad about AutoZone, but they're cheap parts. I try to always put parts that's recommended for it, because I love this car. I'm going to keep it forever. Again, I'm 70 years old, so whatever it means may not be too much longer, but at any rate, when that time comes, maybe I'll pass it on to my grandson or something. But at any rate, I purchased this valve cover gasket assembly, which comes with these rubber rings there. Those are the tube seals. This stops the oil from the cover to go into the where the spark plugs are at. So apparently mine are bad, so I'm gonna replace them, and of course the gasket as well, and see what happens after that. I'm gonna start recording, and I'll update you as I go along. So if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. It's the first time I'm doing it, so I may cross my tongue every now and then, but at any rate, I do my best to explain myself, as limited as I am as far as the knowledge of as a mechanic. But like I said, I do have the basics, and I like tinkering. Some of the things you can do, some things that I won't do. When the time comes, I will have the engine rebuilt, but what I'll probably do is take the whole engine out and send it in and have it done. That way I can save money that way. Or if I'm still, I might even disassemble it here in my garage. I don't know. I'll cross that boat when I get to it. But anyway, as I go along, I'm going to start recording this and maybe put it on YouTube. It is just to help others to have the same car, because I got tired of trying to get information. There's nothing ever about this car. I mean, everything else, you can't even buy a manual for this. So anyway, it's just to help you, and again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm sure I'm gonna not pronounce some of the names of this, or I don't even know it. But as I go along, like I said, it's just to help you, and we can help each other. Maybe you can post something out that'll help me, and get it on YouTube or something. Anyway, the whole kit itself, I mean, this is the brand that I bought. I'm sure there's other ones. It says from Germany, so well, who knows who made it for them? But anyway, this is what they recommended, and I got it. For right now, I'm gonna start taking the top cover here, and also the valve cover, and I'll show you as I go along. But I need to start recording. Thank you very much. I'll get back to you as I go along.